So this is something we've been calling internally AI template dynamics or AI document drafting. So this, we don't have a working prototype of this, but we have prototyped it through design iterations. So this is taking it back a step and saying, well, if someone's filling in this template and they put it up for insurance, and part of that quality assurance is we're giving them the option to adjust what they've written using AI, the logical thing is to go back a few steps and actually have AI create the document with you. So it's coaching you through the creation of that document. So standard kind of problem statement, people are often just presented with, I don't know, a 20-page Word template. They then got to fill out, it'll have guidance in it. It might not have guidance in it. The quality you're going to get from different people, it's always varied. We all know it is going to come up in different ways. So users will know how to write, but it's almost like that, tapping someone on the shoulder. Could you just check this for me, or give me a hand with this? Can AI kind of fill in for that and help people go through this template? Because again, in the template, you've written a prompt specifically for the AI to help it understand what should go in each section. So instead of them being presented with often will be a blank template, or it will be a blank template with, write this in here, fill in the gaps. You would upload the template, and in each section heading, we would have the prompt, which would then help the AI guide the user through each section and fill it in. So again, I put the poll live if you want to take part in that. Is this something, do you sympathize with that? Would it be helpful? AI helping people fill in templates, right? It's a pretty classic use of an LLM. So here again, you see it work in the same way. There is the template in the element. The user clicks the AI button next to the template, which triggers the AI and says, I want to now complete that template for the purposes of this work package or whatever this particular element is. The AI then picks it up and it reads those initial prompts, and then it starts to ask questions. I don't know if you've got anything to say about the kind of the way the prompts might work in this, Mark.
I think the only important point to make is it's kind of getting these from the template itself again. So you are very much in control of what the AI is using to kind of form the conversation it's going to have with you, and what criteria it's going to use to kind of judge or to write, in this case, the content.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we think is quite sensible, dare I say, clever about it, is we're not all this kind of setting of how the AI is going to interact with your template is all kind of just comfortably in your Word document. It's not like you have to upload into some system and then manically configured each section and all this. The AI is clever enough. If we tell it in the prompt that Mark engineers, all you got to do is look through this Word document, find the headings. There will be a prompt underneath. Use this to then guide the user through it. So you can see there in the first design screenshot that it's worked out that what grid it's in. So that's given it the project name, the particular element it's in, and it knows it's now taken the template. So it's got an idea. It knows it's doing a procurement strategy report. It's picking up the first prompt and it's saying, well, my first heading is project objectives, and let's begin. And it will come back based on the information it finds in the element, the information it finds from the grid information. It will know, maybe we've labeled this, it's a certain type of construction project, it's a certain type of risk, whatever it's going to be. It then uses that information that's contained in the grid to make that initial start in the template, and that section heading will guide it as to how it wants to format what it's going to put in there, bulleted list, whatever it's going to do. It will come back, present that in the chat interface, and the user can then essentially interact with this AI to either make a change if they're not happy with what's come back, tweak it, or to continue to the next section.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make this point again for about the 5th time now. It's not the AI writing the document. It's you using AI as a tool to help you write the document.
Yeah,
I think that's quite an important distinction that we always want to make.
Yeah, it's not receiving a blank page. It's definitely receiving what you as an organization have told it should be in this template. And that's what's
and indeed what you are telling it in the conversation you're having with it.
Yeah. So the user will be able to say, actually, this is more important to do this, more important to do that, and we can tweak and go through it.
Yeah.
So you can see how it will, you know, if you've got 10 headings in this document, you're going to get sort of 10 prompts, go backwards and forwards until you decide. And so you're given the option at each section to say, yes, that's good, commit that, and it goes next section, and then eventually it will give you the document ready to download, or if you're in method grid, so add it to the element maybe as file evidence, and it could go in there. And then of course it could in theory go into the QA tool at that point if you are uploading it as file evidence. So you've joined these two up, but two AI tools working in tandem. You've got helping them draft it, goes up to the task as file evidence, gets a quality assurance, come back. If there's anything they then want to tweak, it kind of goes back into this model that's helping them create the template until they're happy. And then of course it can go for any kind of manual check, but at least the manual check knows that it's going to have met a certain score that you've defined before it comes anywhere near someone looking at it. So Frank's asking, what is its accuracy score? I wonder if you mean, do you mean, Frank, type if I get this wrong, do you mean the accuracy of how well it's completing a section in a template, or perhaps the quality score?
I will speak generally about that, and I think this isn't at the stage yet where we've reached where we're actually evaluating kind of how well this works in practice, but certainly that would be a big concern when we move further on, is how do we evaluate how well this AI is doing this task. And it's a big question in AI research generally. How do you quantitatively evaluate a language model? And there isn't really a good answer to that. I wouldn't say. There's some sort of quantitative metrics people try to use. There's one called perplexity that kind of gets referenced a lot, but it's not really that good. And then you have all these kind of LLM, leaderboards, where it's essentially just that you get feedback from humans and they tell you how good it is, and that kind of informed your evaluation. And I think the answer is broadly a lot of human evaluation of how well these things are doing. I think if we were going to move towards some sort of quantitative measurements, one of the things we've talked about is when the AI gives you some feedback, either that is a category, conformance, non-conformance, etc., or an actual score, potentially once you build up a data set of how humans would evaluate that, and then comparing that with the AI's feedback would be one way of trying to get a quantitative evaluation of this. But yeah, it's certainly a difficult one with language models specifically. How do you quantitatively evaluate them? And it's something we're very aware of. And I think broadly the answer is a lot of human evaluation.
Yep, that's good. You got that exactly right. So well done, Mark. that was the question. Another question from Dom is triggered by Osman's great question. Potential conflict of AI marking own homework. If we get both sides of this equation, i.e. drafting support and compliance checks, is there a technical imperative, or maybe just a case of best practice, to ensure different LLMs are being used either side in much the same way as model prompt evaluation most effective when using an alternative model to the primary model?
It's a very interesting question. I think certainly using different models for different tasks is generally a good thing, especially models that have been fine-tuned on a specific task. If we did start going down the route of fine-tuning a model specifically for document evaluation, then certainly yes, that would be that'd be a great way to do it. In terms of using different models, I mean, the first point to make, I don't think this is implied by the question at all, but is if you ask an LLM to generate some content, and then in a separate conversation ask it to evaluate the content, it doesn't know that it's content that it wrote itself. So it's, you know what I mean? It's not aware that it's judging its own content. But certainly there's an argument to be made that, you know, if it writes in a certain way, in a certain style, perhaps it's got a predisposition to judge that style more positively. But certainly it would be worth having a look at. And, you know, as we were just talking about the Frank's question, how do we evaluate these things? Certainly that would be something that'd be worth looking at. You know, do different models, are they better at evaluation, or are the ones better at writing things? Indeed, if you write something with the help of one AI model, does the same AI model tend to rate it higher? Off the top of my head, I don't know what the answer to that is, but it's a very interesting question. It's certainly something to be worth looking into.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to. I mean, it's like you said in the previous question as well. It is human evaluation, a lot of it, to say yes, you've done a good job on that one. No, you've not done such a good job on that one, and eventually it figures it out. I mean, you can see actually in the UI there, we did sort of play around with a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of approach to whether we think what it's sent back is good. So I think you can see how that could be built in, that kind of check to see, tell the AI whether it's doing a good job, pat on the head sort of thing.
Yeah.